Hello, guys. My name is Fernando Raimundo. Today we're going to be presenting our persuasive speeches. First and foremost, before anything starts, I hope that everyone is at home safe. I know that the circumstances right now are not ideal, but the most we can do is stay at home, self quarantine, and social distance each other. It's the only way that we're going to be able to flatten out the curve. Um, but I hope everyone is doing okay and we can just return to our regular lifestyle eventually, fingers crossed. But back to the topic, today we're going to be talking about a very important subject, which is actually why women should be getting equal pay. This graph here is taken from Business Insider using the US Census of 2018. Just to give you guys a little bit of aspect, this is 5 different individuals working in the same industry. The male making 100% of the income, while the women are making less. And much more alarming, the women of color are actually making 62% less income than what the male is in the same industry. So now that we have talked about the statistics, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about history so that we can see where we were back then versus how we are right now. So, as we all know, women have been trying to get equal rights for a very long time, and it has been honestly ridiculously how hard it has been for them to be able to just be as equal as men when in all reality everyone should have already been equal since the beginning. Um so let's go ahead and take it exactly 100 years ago. In the 1920s, legislation actually passed a law where working women were now giving equal opportunities as men. So, like, if a guy wanted to be a mechanic, so could a girl, because why shouldn't they? You know? And in 1963, John F. Kennedy actually signed the Equal Pay Act, which ensured that the male would be getting paid the same as the female. Unfortunately, a lot of those different types of acts have been implemented, and we still see a lot of like fight from the big corporations and even small businesses from doing so. So there's a lot of different tactics that are kind of placed onto the workplace that we probably don't even really realize, and it actually helps them get away with it, which could turn it over into like a huge lawsuit or something if the company does get caught doing such things, because at the end of the day it is illegal. So now that we have talked about a little bit of the history and like the political side of things, let's go ahead and talk about the gender gap. The gender gap is not only between genders of male and female, but now it also implements race. So how you guys saw in the table that I had showed you guys previously, we weren't only comparing male and female, but into the female category, we were looking at different races. That's not only because men are getting pinned up against women, but now we're having women fight each other just because of their skin color or where they came from, which honestly is very ridiculous again, because just because an Asian woman versus a Hispanic woman, like, do the same career, that doesn't mean that the Asian woman should be getting more pay because she's Asian rather than the Mexican woman. So basically, if you put it's kind of how it works. If you put a white male, an Asian woman, and let's say a Hispanic woman, all through the engineering process of getting their education and everything, and then they all get hired at the same firm, ironically, you're gonna see that the white male would be getting paid, like, let's say $38 an hour, while the Asian woman would be getting paid 35, and the Mexican woman would be getting paid around 27, which is very, very bad because they all went through the same process, same steps, and now we're having, like, just because you're a male, you get a little bit more money. And you know what? Just because of like the color of your skin, like, you get a little bit more or a little bit less. Like, that just doesn't make sense. And some of the facts are, women are actually, very intelligent. So let's say that this hardworking, like, Hispanic woman got a 4.0, right? She's getting the $27 an hour. But now we have this, like, white male that just because he's a male, he could have gotten like 2.7 GPA at the end of like his college career. But now he's getting paid $38 an hour. And that's just very unfair. Not only because of obviously like the male and female, and it doesn't have any justification between, like, their IQ or anything, but if they all have the same position, they should all be getting paid the same because they all did the same work to get to where they are. Another huge issue that we see is, a lot of mothers are sometimes single mothers, And it doesn't help that they get paid less, but they also have to take care of a whole family of whether it be one child, three childs, four. And it just makes it a little bit harder, and it brings like a lot of concern because now you're not only detaining the parent from getting like the money to raise her kids, but now it's also affecting the kids to like maybe they don't have enough money to eat, maybe they don't have enough money for a computer, and all of those other factors key into the effects on why women should be getting paid equally to men. Like it's just ridiculous. um Not only that, a lot of statistics have shown that the poverty level does have, a couple of single working mothers, and that number would be cut in half if we just equaled the pay all around from male to female. um the same study also showed that obviously, well, when you're working, not only you make money but the country makes money. So when you guys get paid, obviously there's a little bit of money that goes into the government and such, and all of that gets added up, right? So if women were actually making the same amount of money as male, keep in mind that the workforce is composed of around 50% women and 50% male, you would see an increase of $516.6 billion in the economy each year, just from us being fair and giving their like rights to be getting the same equal pay. I had talked earlier a little bit on how different corporations and small businesses get away with it. One of the big ones is like the whole like don't talk about your pay, which has been implemented to us. And that's just for them to not really disclose how much you're paying each employee, which is really bad because I've seen it in some workplaces that have like gotten reported and like, everything's better, but they start talking about pay and you figure out that Susan is making $8, but Joey is making 24, or like actually that's a really big difference, but like $10 and Susan's making $8. I guess that's a $2 difference. You might be like, oh, it's a $2 difference, but they're both doing the same job. Why can't they be getting the same pay? With all of that being said, there are 3 million head of household working women that are working hard each day so that they can put their hard earned money into raising their kids. A lot of these women have a lot of different stressors, and one of the main ones is financial stress. A lot of this could be alleviated if we were just paying the female the same amount as we were paying the male. Not only does this affect single mothers, it also affects, any woman and also like in a married relationship. So a study has shown that the family income would be brought up 15.6% if the woman was getting paid the equal amount as men, which obviously is a huge beneficiary. Women should just be getting paid as equal as they are to men if they are in the same workforce, obviously, just because it is just a given. It should be if they worked as hard as the male did or as the Asian woman, for example, they should be all getting paid the same. There's a lot of different things that we can do to help stop this and put an end to this 100-year fight. A lot of it is also just talking amongst each other. If you talk about your wage, which like it's advised not to, but you sometimes can find out that you're getting cheated out $3 for doing the same exact amount of labor, and that is obviously very unfair, and it's one of the tactics that the workforce implements for you not to, find out that Susan was getting paid less than Joey. At the bottom below, I'm gonna put some links of some other different articles that you guys can look at, as well as some other ways that you can inform yourself and everyone else and be a part of helping such a huge issue finally be resolved and ended. Because at the end, it all starts with us. I hope that you found this speech very informational and persuasive as well. I hope I went ahead and opened your eyes a little bit if you didn't know that this was still happening, or if you really hadn't put a second thought on it. It's a very huge issue that is happening in our society, and I hope that I have really opened your eyes into looking furthermore into it. Again, thank you. I hope everyone stays safe and have a nice day.